Sources close to Lobb say he is now considering a cage fight between he and Hipwood, which he is tentatively calling the Lobbster versus the Eel. Sources close to Hipwood say he's considering taking out a restraining order against Lobb. Welcome back to AFL from LA. I'm your host, Cindye, and I'm standing across the street from the Sunset Gower Studios, where TV shows like Dexter and Married with Children were filmed. A few things I've learned this round. Is Eric Hipwood the new Rory Lobb? Cindye really aren't fans of first quarters. And Channel 7 commentators blaming Carlton's 5-day break for their 1-goal second half? Let's get to it. Eric the Eel Hipwood has been applauded for his transformation from key forward to key defender, slithering his way to 8 intercept possessions and a goal in Brisbane's 5-goal win over the Suns. So successful was the Hipwood move that coach Chris Fagan announced the Eel would be slippery enough to play down back, up forward, and possibly even in the car park if needed. Rory Lobb, meanwhile, lashed out at the move, saying redemption arcs for weakest pissed key forwards was his department. This competition isn't big enough for the two of us, the Lobbster warned. I'm president of the tall blokes who occasionally remember how to play footy club. Sources close to Lobb say he is now considering a cage fight between he and Hipwood, which he is tentatively calling the Lobbster versus the Eel. Sources close to Hipwood say he's considering taking out a restraining order against Lobb. Asked for his thoughts on the unfolding drama, fellow underwhelming key forward Ben King merely blinked in confusion, still trying to locate the goals after 120 minutes. Faced with the prospect of coaching West Coast next year, a panicked Ken Hinkley allegedly sent an SOS to his players, sparking Port's epic comeback over Carlton at Marvel Stadium. Down by 5 goals at halftime, with another Eagles gift basket having arrived in the coach's box, a cheese platter and a selection of Margaret River wines, Hinkley ditched the whiteboard and pep talks to beg his players to have mercy on his future. One Port assistant who didn't wish to be named said Hinkley's halftime performance was impressive, but paled in comparison to the vast Felix Cabernet and aged Margaret River cheddar. He then called the Eagles' targeting of Hinkley laughable, insisting Ken was more a Pepsi Max Allen's Party Mix kind of guy. Michael Voss, meanwhile, allegedly reached out to the Eagles to put his hand up for the top job, lamenting that the veal parmigiana and Chianti gift baskets from Lygon Street were becoming about as rare as Carlton Grand Final appearances. Carlton fans have graciously thanked Essendon for helping them not feel so shit about their own team after the Bombers' 9-goal capitulation to the Saints at Marvel. The loss, Essendon's 6th flop in 8 games, leaves them staring down the barrel of a 21-year finals win drought and hot favorites for the Masters of Mediocrity Cup. Brad Scott, meanwhile, denied rumors that Jake Stringer's alleged re-signing was behind his team's nosedive into oblivion. Whispers of a secret contract extension began after Stringer's round 15 performance, where he briefly remembered how to play footy. Since then, the Bombers have crashed harder than a Sam Draper belly flop, managing just 1 win, with the package delivering all the impact of a wet Herald Sun. The Bombers play 3rd place Freo next, their 8th straight game in Melbourne, then 2 more games in Melbourne, because apparently the AFL just likes it that way. Brad Scott's boys will then be Googling how to pack a suitcase when they travel north to the Gabba to face Chris Fagan's ferocious Lions. Freo fans, meanwhile, were reportedly daydreaming about how high the Dockers might finish if they got to play 10 games in a row in their hometown. And if you're enjoying the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and maybe even say good day in the comments. My feelings about the Fremantle Eagles game can best be summed up in a poem. The Eagles, no chance, said the experts so wise, but they ambushed Freo to everyone's surprise. We've got RG Bargy, Will Schofield declared. The Eagles are back and they've come prepared. The third term erupted, fists in the air. Harley Reid and Brayshaw, they had their fair share. Jaden Hunt's jumper almost torn off his back. Tom Cole came rushing, joining the attack. It's on, cried Schofield with 5 spot fires. Elliot Yeo protecting young Reid's desires. Full-time job keeping Harley from the fray. Yo, his bodyguard, saving the day. J-Lo blew up, his phone took a hit. As Fife's blunder made the coach lose his shit. Fifey knows better. He just should have stayed. But it really didn't matter. The Dockers came to play. So Freo kept calm, composed in the storm, and by three-quarter time brought their true form. 5-0, sealing the game's fate. An Eagles comeback would happen too late. The Dockers survived. No points did they lack. While Petrotelli's hit saw Darcy get smacked. A spiteful derby with fights galore. The match review officer had plenty in store.